kissing on the and the million Jihalia and Azu Shin give you Shin Tensugi Tone and Delia and Chike Yamlin Chidi Kabla and Monju Gasore almost to Chegum Yukone and then Yamlin Chegores Tambo all those chendan in a Chegum Jekana Chegolana kissing on the Alamigu Kuson to you Indian and Tenche and Chikia Deva Chaya and then Lamiki getting the change, getting Chirenja, all those children to get the Kimte, the chick getting Chimbo in Bata, and the chick Yendel, Lami Kusun to you, Yendenti, some down to Chevena to ya, Delia, Deva Chaya down, and then getting Chirenja to do Changores, as kissing the Goshu.
Good evening. So last week, we, having finished the preliminaries to relying on a spiritual teacher, then last week we started to look at the actual practice on how to rely on a spiritual teacher. So we mentioned last week that we need, the students need to investigate through analytical meditation the qualities of the teacher. Need to analyze the qualities of the teacher's body, speech, and mind in order to generate faith and trust in their teacher. And moreover, through analytical meditation or through analysis, the student then needs to reflect on the kindness of the teacher, coming to see the great benefit that coming to see the great benefit that follows from relying on a teacher.
Tonight
we'll then continue with the text, starting in the middle of page 10.
Deva Chada, Deva Chiada, the Nela Kitty, the Torn, the Dene, ya, and Sosorana Casam was in that means Sosarangi, that Rangi Lama de La, and Chick, Canis never, Chihudu Chilama de Nevers, Chicky said, Chihudu, some and some Dangores.
So we, in the middle of page 10, for those who are following His Holiness's commentary on the same translation of the root text, we, in the middle of page 63, so the very last line of the second paragraph, think I have now met a spiritual guide and I will try to practice as pleases him. So this thought arises in one's mind, having reflected on the great qualities of one's teacher, as well as his tremendous kindness. And through those reflections, trust and conviction in one's teacher has arisen, and thereby one commits to practicing as pleases him.
Denigi never Jehu some Dangor, that Jego Bimja Carolana, Bene Sisuna, Seno Jani, Gijapi Capsu, Sejam Labe Tese Jimbale, and Doche Chicala, Se Pobaganga Devade, and Jinchewa Shin.
To explain then this thought, then we come to the next line. It is more kind to give a bowl of simple food to someone dying of hunger than to give a handful of golden coins to someone who has every luxury.
Michigi and the Sarah Lapogit and his Talagan Jevaina, then Yahoo, they want to get in Chambore, Yahoo was, and then magic Droto, Shirochi de Kabla, and Droto, Shirochi de Kabla, and Kalajik Jevaina, Kaladuji Jevaina, Dimi Garin Cheres, soon Garakarin Chigores, Panto Share, Karelana. Several color do you get rebutted, sell Baraka Gong Rina Jabana, said the she would not simple color, do she say this Hajiti, to go to Jaramarwa, Chawashova. In a Pando Karachigo, Labna, Shiro Shela, and Droto, Shirochi Kabla, Kalate, Pando Shawades, Kasan Kosolo, Juguores. 미 소소라랑에 세도나 변조 야구 유리 겁을 세르바라 간저베네 지당 야구를 돼 이나 디지기 강아지 세다 되니게 판도 첨부라 책고 말했어. 그래서 되니 인자 시료시디 겁을 도도 시료시디 겁을 칼라 제가 사마강 돼야지 세르바라 간도 공충하시고 충충을 돼 이나 판도 슈 첨부를 그래서 미지 시야에 소를 좀 두고 그래지래.
The meaning of this line is that if one is presented with, if one compares two differing acts of generosity, one where a handful of golden coins is something of great value is given to someone without a care in the world who has abides in happiness, in good health, they have an abundance of resources. So someone who really has no concerns. If one were to give such a person a handful of golden coins, or on the other hand, someone who was on the verge of death, someone who was impoverished and in desperate need for food and drink, if one was to give them a mere handful of nutritious food, between these two acts of generosity, which would have the greater benefit? So what should be clear is, of these two acts of generosity, the one has a substance is being offered of far greater value, golden coins, as opposed to just a handful of food. But in terms of benefit, there's incomparable benefits in helping someone on the brink of death and giving them their desperately required nutritious food, as opposed to just adding to someone's material abundance.
어디나 신당 안주리네 세델이야 판도지긴 파마라소 바당 소소리아 롭션 제간다 윤제 네 제현디게 네 그린 친구 판도 야고 와대는 그린 친구로 와서 파마디게 충주는 파지 수에 야 지게 친구 수에 네 롭션 땅 된시리에 네 그린 친구래 되래 이네 라마기 아네 디미데 라미게 안주리 최셰디 그린 체데 수 그린 치기리 랍나 제가 라미게 최셰디 안주리야 최송에데 그리 체와 체고라 그래서네 대시 칼라 조도 시루지디가 칼라 제디 그린 체와 판도 체와 그래서는 그 소래 겹고 소래 타고로 와서 엠비디 나신 라미게 최송와데 그린 첨보래 임비 김자가라나 라미지게 최송제 아주게 코와다 타바 코비 두마 딜레 레다 뇽모베 온고 코와레 게모 코와레 타바지고레스 제가 타바지가자 얘네 땡기 대화디 두투고레 두비알이야 남메기디 최소화디 팽고레스 나 지난 파말라소비랑이야 판도치인디게 체디기 디기 두야레 팽고르데 이내야 코비기 두말레 타야디 팽고 말레스 제가 남메기 최소인데 최소발레 땡땡 아주 냠네 제바이나 코비 두마견 탐질레 줘야지 야 타바당 나산지 고보 투고레 디인자 라마딩 안주야 진침부 삼고야 진침부 임바데 데네 인장 아주게 라마 녀바 지고고 김전 디레스 라마데 진지 나한테 판도 제가 나네 판도 치슈데 아주레 진치슈데 라마 차고레스 오래
So when comparing those two acts of generosity, it should be clear that bringing someone back from the brink of death, this is amongst those two acts, the far kinder act, or rather the act of far greater benefit. So then, to use that understanding and apply to our own situation. So on the one hand, we've been shown tremendous kindness by our parents and many others who have guided us in developing whatever good qualities we already have attained in this life. And then on the other hand, we've met a spiritual friend, a teacher who is guiding us in terms of developing an understanding of which minds to abandon, which minds to adopt. And if we compare the kindness of, on the one hand, our parents and the others who've helped us develop whatever good worldly qualities we have, and our teacher who's guiding us in developing qualities that could be called perhaps transworldly, then the Lama is seen as even kinder than our parents who have sustained us with such love and kindness in this life. And this is because the kindness that has been shown to us by our parents and our educators and various people in our lives have led us to develop much needed skills. It's only our spiritual teacher who is guiding us in how to cultivate minds that will lead to a complete liberation from suffering. And it's only our spiritual teacher who's guiding us in the abandonment of the minds that are keeping us trapped within the suffering realms of cyclic existence. So comparing these two then, it should be clear that whilst our parents and others are tremendously kind to us and we are dependent on their kindness, the kindness our teacher is showing us, this goes beyond this one life, and it leads to the complete cessation of suffering, and therefore our Lama is seen as even kinder. And here's a verse now from the 5 stages, which is a text composed by Nagarjuna. The self-born Buddha is a being gone to perfection, but kinder than Buddha is your own teacher, for he personally gives you the oral teachings. Lapa suji meveres, meva za yedi labe la, and jibu ni se de konares. Ta sanye jumde le jibu res, ma do sanye jumde dele, and yunde lapa suji yomares ora. And the meaning of this verse then is that if in general we compare gods to human beings, we would have to say that gods are superior because gods have bodies that radiate light, they have powers such as clairvoyance, as well as many other qualities that humans can't even comprehend. But if one compares, so whilst gods can easily be seen as superior to humans, when compared to Buddhas, well, there is no comparison. The qualities of Buddhas so exceed that of gods. So, and then just to say that translation of this verse is perhaps a bit different from what Gena is explaining.
Zambuling delia and chow to get number 10, Che Sungshe, the Nigi Che de la Dine Temba Sanyo Jumnedigi, Yamnajina Sanyo Toba Rivers in Dimare. How's it? Temba Sanyo Jumne, Mabe Niela, Chow Juguji Pe, Chigi Holokor, then the Sanyo Jumne, the Nigi Che de Lobsang Sanyo Goma, San Geva Rivers in Dimare. Somebody the Lecho to number 10, Sanyo Jumne, Sanyo Jumne, Korongi chose on a Chigi Holokor in bed, Dili Gramado, Sanyo Jumne, Mazinella Cho Jugi Pe, Digi Cho Sung, then Sanyo Jumne, Diche, the Lobsang San Geva Rivers in Dimare.
Somebody take out a song you need to don't at any in Otoshoki.
Temba Sanje Chumde, Maria Nelia, Tumbling Dilia, Cho, number 10 and Dambo Surias, Temba Sanje Chumendra.
Anne, in a Kumale Kumla, Asangi Shimpere, Madebe. The Ming Amason.
Zambuli de la Chogo to the number Tamboting and the Sanya Jumne. Niema Sanya Jumne, Wilson, Sanya number Shipesare, Sasa, Disutemba Zosade, Zosane, Zambuli Sadu, Chini Yang, Ma Sadu Che, Meva Chad, Namja Sazan Sasadi. Then Chini Yadin, Sanya Jumne, Seva Jabeka, Sanya Jumne Perva. Dikaso Chesunga Yomare. Sanya Jumne, Mahe Nela, di Paradilla. Nema Sanya Wilson Page in the Tempa Zosarida. Di Paradolo Mango, Rosa, Chesunga Meba. Then you don't Sanya Jumne de Trumare, Trum Jin Sanya Jumne de Horongi, Yamenji, Sanya Tovare. Jeza, Dini, Sanya Jumne Chish and I will Tempachi Chesum, Dele, Yamin Jeje, Sanya Tovare, and Dishi. Jeza Dini is a Sanya Jumne de Corolla, Raju Sayela, Raju Sayela.
So let's then look at the meaning of the first line, the self-born Buddha. So why is Buddha Shakyamuni referred to as the self-born Buddha? Well, when he came into this world, the teachings of another Buddha were not present. So there had been Buddhas previous to Buddha Shakyamuni who had taught in this world, such as Buddha Kashyapa, but his teachings had completely died out. So therefore, when Buddha, the being that was to become Buddha Shakyamuni came to this world and came and trained and developed himself, it wasn't done independent on those on other teachings of a Buddha that were present in the world, because at that time there was no teachings of a Buddha present in the world. So therefore, Buddha Shakyamuni attained, or the being that became Buddha Shakyamuni attained enlightenment based on his own efforts, and therefore he's referred to as a self-born Buddha.
Temple Suji Lamna, Chizun Jamakumba Pigri, or they could Sangi, Tonda Zani, or Tonda Jidani, your reservoir, Don Zani, yours. She's not the nigger, Kochogo to good number 20. She's not Chogo to good number 20 papers or soda. She's not Chogo to good number 20 Pagandi, then Yama, Sangi, Sum Pet Sasarva, DJ that. Sangi Jumne Chagurwa. That Sangi Jumne Chogo to good number 20 that on Chuju Kolokosha, but Chigba and Mahobana Yamcha Tezin, but the Yanji Lomang Pichella and Jawachambayan, Zambulia Page, and they Chogo to good number 20, Chuju Kolokoya, Pedi, Jawachamba Pigora.
In this age, it's said that there are about 1,000 Buddhas that will appear in our world, and these 1,000 Buddhas then are a particular, maybe you could say, category of Buddha, in that these are wheel-turning Buddhas, those who come to the world at a time when the Buddha Dharma doesn't exist in the world, and they turn the wheels of Dharma for the first time. So before Buddha Shakyamuni it appeared in our world, the Dharma of Kashyapa had completely died out. Then he came, he was the fourth of these 1,000 Buddhas, and he turned the wheel of Dharma, bringing the Dharma into our world. After his teachings, those of Buddha Shakyamuni, have died out, there'll be a long period within our world where there are no teachings. And then eventually the being Maitreya, Buddha Maitreya, will appear in our world. And he will then be the fifth wheel-turning Buddha, and he will turn the wheel of Dharma, bring the Dharma back into our world.
That's how you can you chungo go sane. That's how you can you choose some word then and to some gum some Jenyaman Jeje. That just you go to when the Ranjun Sai Chagoma, as in San Eugene you call go wigi Delia, Lobsang Dorje, and the chicken Yaman San Yoga to said. That's how you can Ranjun Sai Sugar did the Mulling dealer Chogo number 20 Sung, the Nigi Che de la Dena San Eugene Lobsang Dorje, San Gaba, there was in the Marwa, Mayanza, called the Mulling dealer San Eugene Koron Bangbo Koron, and Kimbaji Rabjunche, Koron Yamen Jeje, and Koron Rangi, and this Lord Kawache, San Yoga top. Then you go out to Koroga, the Denigin, Zeva Zevarwa, the Lenza San Eugene Delia, the Rajun San Yesadi, Lagu Yunza Rotire.
in the world since Buddha Shakyamuni has been here, many beings have attained enlightenment independence on Buddha Shakyamuni's teachings. But as they attained enlightenment independence on the teachings of a wheel-turning Buddha, it wouldn't be suitable to call them a self-arisen Buddha. So there has been no other self-arisen Buddha in the period since Buddha Shakyamuni appeared in our world, although there have been many beings who have attained enlightenment. And when Buddha Shakyamuni appeared or the being that became Buddha Shakyamuni appeared in our world, he first was a householder, and then he went forth and ordained, and he then displayed the varying deeds of a Buddha. And that's why he is suitable to be called a self-arisen Buddha. But in the time that his teachings abide in this world, there will be no other being who attains enlightenment who would be suitable to be called a self-arisen Buddha, because they would have attained their enlightenment independence on the teachings of Buddha Shakyamuni.
상유 좀내 그런 교행 군세다 인대 군대 차사로와 지상 그런 냠뇨 토네 마 맞을야 추 타바다 탐지kim에 토야가 람 템바인자 상유 좀내디 그런 아니 초도 규바 지불에 지분이 있어야 돼 초도 규바도 상유 좀내는 권한을 해야지 지식으로와
In our world, there are many gods with great powers, such as clairvoyance. There have been many founder teachers of religions and philosophy who have brought great benefits. But none of these beings can compare with the activities of a wheel-turning Buddha, in particular Buddha Shakyamuni. Because it's a wheel-turning Buddha, Buddha Shakyamuni, who has taught the incomparable Dharma. And the reason that the Dharma is incomparable is because it is the unmistaken path that, when cultivated within oneself, leads to the attainment of omniscience. No other being other than a Buddha has an omniscient consciousness. No other being, therefore, can teach from direct experience how to cultivate an omniscient consciousness. So therefore, the teachings of a wheel-turning Buddha are incomparable to any other teachings. And therefore, the activity of turning the wheel of Dharma, the bringing into this world the unmistaken teachings that lead to the omniscient state, this too is an act of incomparable greatness.
니바 지가 숨바체 맹아 때리 실세 맹아 때리 실세디 타바다 담제 김베 탑 마노와 람디 띵기도 와서 그래 가르 띵거 왔은 ben에 상여 좀내 마비냐라 뜸바만 보여데 지속이 ben에 템버 주바레샤다 가사 다 요레샤다 아니 데니기 소환자 상여 다음에 바 띵디게 남샤 최 담제 라시 마주바 띵 최담제 라신 주거 진바도 된지레디 뇽모버게 규레 제자 타바 토발라 뇽모버 빵구고레 지단 디빵과 디바야라 동바이 또별로 동이 또 호레 대동이 또별로 좀 공부레서 데니를 탑 만노와 땡야디 우메 람기 도네 동이 또별로 다 데니게는 파진 주게 냠는 땡야디 상유 좀 낸 마도 요 말했어. 제자 상유 좀 낸데 약쇼 임비 김센디 가라서는 데니기 타니다 제위 람게 남샤 띵기도 와서 그래.
데니디 지강 숨바다.
숨바다.
Okay. The reason then that Buddha Shakyamuni should be seen as being supremely kind is because it is only he that taught this unmistaken path to enlightenment. So there have been many other founder teachers of other philosophies and religion, but none of them have identified the root cause of our remaining bound within cyclic existence. And not having identified the root cause of all our suffering, they haven't been able to identify the actual antidote to our suffering. So only Buddha Shakyamuni who has presented that true grasping, the mind of true grasping, this is the root cause of all suffering, and it only can be eliminated through the cultivation of the wisdom realizing emptiness. And this identification of the root cause of suffering as well as its direct antidote, the middle way path, it's only Buddha Shakyamuni who taught this, who presented the actual path to liberation, and therefore the kindness of Buddha Shakyamuni is seen as supreme.
하다 데니레 초도 교가 있는데 미래도 초도 교가 이 야쇼 이마시 로하다 데니게 자다 상유 좀는데 배 마시 데니게 진침보다 안에 그 진침보 연대 캬바도 파바데레스 다 디치가 시바데라 더저로빈 데벨하서 제가 데니 상유 좀는데 그 진침보 데니게 연대 캬바지는 그 진침보 슈지 레데 마음솔이야 판도 치쇼도 수레스네 상유 좀 데레 또 가서래 람 땡켄 개회신인 도줄로번디 상이 좀만 되랑 아솔이야 도줄로번디 아솔 그든 쳐바래서 도줄로번디 하세.
That was the third line. So again, this commentary is a little different from the translation we have. So what we've seen thus far is if we compare humans and gods, then in general it should be quite clear that gods can be said to be superior because of the qualities they have. But now, if we think of we've already reflected now on the third line on the incredible kindness and importance of the Buddha. But if we compare the kindness of Buddha Shakyamuni that he has shown to us, compared to the kindness that our own teacher, our own Vajramaster has shown us, then for ourselves we can say that even kinder than Buddha Shakyamuni is our own teacher, our own Vajramaster.
제가 딩하비기 김전 가려놨나 다 상유 좀는데 아주나 상유 좀는데 시제 투요 말에 제가 상유 좀는데 취취야라요 말와 매번 상유 좀는데 취 마시기 제 데니게 타바다 탐제 김바고 바뒤바 탑 마노바 템베슈 그린 침보래 돼 나왕주의 상유 좀는 진짜 무슨 취취야라요 말에 제가 상유 좀는 진짜 취취야 말아와래 진짜 당 나왕주의 상유 좀는데 데니게 람든 람 된샤바된 아주를 랍제 제장 아주야 저 랍칸의 수레에서는 개외신인 차결했어. 제가 개외신인디 아주야 상이 좀는 데레 마나 상이 좀는 빼면서 개된 침보를 돼. 상이 좀는 데레 아주를 무슨 팽견딩 아주게 개외신인디 아주를 무슨 팽거래. 제가 아주를 무슨 펜바상 무슨 롭정제 무슨 냠내 제시간 개외신인디 인자 상이 좀는 데레 아주야 개위신인데 도줄로벤데 내게는 쳐와래서 이미 김자로 드시고래.
The reason that it's suitable to say that our own Vajramaster is even kinder to us than Buddha Shakyamuni is not to deprecate the greatness or kindness of Buddha Shakyamuni in any way. It's rather that us ourselves, we didn't have the merit to be able to train under the care of the founder Buddha Shakyamuni. We weren't able to meet him directly, receive teachings from him directly, and train under his care. However, we have been able to come under the care and the guidance of a spiritual teacher. He is the one who we have been able to meet, receive teachings from, and guidance from. And it is our spiritual teacher who directly benefits us. And therefore we can say for ourselves that our spiritual teacher is even kinder than Buddha Shakyamuni.
아주려 라세된 아주기 탐에비 넘버 아주 나지 민 넘버 된 아주 나신 넘버 된 장아주 최송아 송엔디다 더줄빈디 차디로와 지산 더줄빈디 아주를 깨진 침벌 지산 상여 좀내 대공의 제장 아주기 제투 제 중요한 말에 지산 되니기 고가 마중하래 지산 되니기 아주를 되니기 탐에비 넘버 된 장아주를 최송한지 매바이나 상여 좀내 최사바다 자셔 송샤베나 아주를 납хэ메나 나아서 제 판두고 신고 말아 신고 말아 배제 땅 두고 제가 나아서 배제 땅 투야 소연디 데니기 나아서 그게 담마비기 나아서 나지 넘버 된제 한도줄로 비기 나아서 롭션 테켄 다기 비신인디 다지 getting Sangi Chogo Juge number 10 digging, then Depi Tumbashaki to Batida, Naozuki, Tamabi, me number 10, Jangazo Lakanidi, Nazali Dean getting Chawachago.
Number 10,
Chogo Juge number 10. She's not Chogo, Sangi Germany Chogo number 10, I just want to DJ Tomato, Tizen Chusha Marawa, just Chogo Juge number Chika, Sumba, Nazo that. Tamabe number 10, Jangazo Lapkaj Mebana, Azulia, Chigi, Koto, the Hagumarwa, she's not dealing Zangazuki, Tamabe number 20, Denigi number 20, Sungandi, Corso, Chogu, Jugi number 20, Temba Tele, Council getting Chavares.
We haven't had the opportunity to receive teachings directly from Buddha Shakyamuni and come under his direct care. However, we have come under the care of a spiritual teacher, and it's through the guidance of a spiritual teacher that the teachings of the Buddha Dharma itself, we can come to understand these. Without a spiritual teacher, the only way we can meet Buddha Shakyamuni is through a representation and an image. We don't have the opportunity to meet Buddha Shakyamuni directly. And whilst his teachings, the Buddha Dharma does exist in this world, and one can access them independent from a teacher, one will not come to a much of an understanding of the Buddha Dharma through one's own endeavors alone. It's only through relying on a spiritual teacher that we can give rise to powerful, transformative realizations or understandings of the teachings of Buddha Shakyamuni. So therefore we can see our teacher as being kinder for us than even by Buddha Shakyamuni himself. So whilst Buddha Shakyamuni is a supreme wheel-turning Buddha, the teachers in this world, our spiritual friends, they are like his representatives in this world. And that is because it is through them that we can come to meet the true meaning of the Buddha Dharma. In other words, we can give rise to the minds of the Buddha's teachings within ourselves through the kindness of our spiritual teachers.
Ye some Sedinigi, some Goreji, that's on Yenamle Yang, Alama de getting Chavar, get bang, Azulia getting Chimushuri, some Jodushin, some Dangoreji.
And then we read the sentence just above the quotation. For this reason, it is said that your personal spiritual mentor is kinder than even Buddha himself.
Adela Dismurda, Sanjay Namne, Jalama de getting chair, sitting around to let Sanjay Namne, Jalama de getting chair, sitting Donala Kasumurasne, Sanjay Longu number 2 bata, and Java Doji Chang, Longu number 2, Cho to good number 10 big, Sanjay, the Niki number 10 betting on the Shushia Gomare. Chisam calls the Pem Sanjay, calls to change the Saction Geshe Thubten the Inel. Now, Kwāzu kūnguē chē chē ngā rā tsukī chū shūyā kōkō mārā wānsā, ngā rā tsū liyā pēngyō mārā wā. Chisā ngā rā tsū tātā tāmē bē nāmbā tuyān chē, ngā rā tsū mī tāmā bē nāmbā tuyān, ngā rā tsū liyā gīwē shīn chē chē, tēnī kwāzu kū sōng shē bē kē sāngī kū sōng shē bē chē tī, ngā rā tsū liyā chīk nyam lēn chē tātā rīmā chāsā sāwā tuyān kēntī, chisā dī lāmbā tī ngā tsū liyā kētīn chē wā rē chē. Sāngī lē jā lāmbā kētīn chē sē tē, the Jidana Chogu to get number 10 but Longu number 10 shaping, the nigger number 10 king is Sanji number 10 piggy, Dele, and then answer Tamabe number 10 shady, soon ending answer Pando Chow.
We don't have the merit to have the good fortune to meet the enjoyment body of a Buddha, the Sambhogakaya, or the merit to meet Vajradhara in person or directly. So we, however, do have the merit to meet the emanation bodies of a Buddha when they come in a form that we do have the merit to relate to. And it's through these emanation bodies that we can receive teachings and guidance and training in terms of our own inner development, our own spiritual development. So it's through our spiritual teachers that we can hear the words of the Buddha directly from him, through his representative in this world, the representative to whom we can personally relate. And through relying on such a teacher and following their guidance, we too can give rise to the same mental paths that all the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas have given rise to. And in this way, we can develop the paths of the Buddha Dharma within ourselves. So it's for this reason that we see our spiritual teacher as being even kinder than Buddha Shakyamuni, a supreme wheel-turning Buddha.
Lama Sangi and the Sangi like it in Chevrolet, Minua, the Casama Sangi there, and Sangi like it in Chevrolet, Lam Rim Text and Big Mazun Dopatingura. Chesa Lama Sangi Namle, Lama di, also look it in Chevrolet, don't Lama Sangi, Maria Sigura, Didi, and James Lagua Marwa, don't la Carson. Now, Tamabe number 10, getting out of ya getting Chevrolet. That now the Sanji Gumwe, that then Chogo, the longer number to get the Sanji D, Mazulia, and Chizan getting Chimbushu, the Mazulia, now to cause the Chu, Mosu Shumatu, and Zangazulia, Chumusu Shuichi, and Mosu, Tamabe number 20, giving number 20, did it. Then Sanji Leja said, Chogo Chugo, the longer number 20, number 10, the Sanji Chesuman. Desole, Mazola, Tama, number 20, getting Anzolia Panto Church, what I said, and Denisila water, the Mado, Sanjay, the Laman Betara, Mikimarta.
So here, in this part of the presentation, it's important to mention that it's that you need to guard yourselves against a possible misunderstanding, because when it's said that that our spiritual teacher is even kinder to us than the Buddha, that does sound like that our spiritual teacher and the Buddha are separate. And therefore, it's quite easy to make that, to come to such an understanding, and that would be a mistaken understanding. So rather, what we should understand by this view that the Buddha, that our teacher is even kinder to us than the Buddha, is not that they are of a different continuum, or our teacher is not a Buddha. Rather, that we do not have the merit and thereby the opportunity to meet the actual body that's marked by the 112 marks and signs of a wheel-turning Buddha. We do not have such merit. So we need to then rely on an emanation of such a body, an emanation that we can relate to, that is in a form that we can directly meet and receive teachings and guidance from. So this is the meaning of seeing our teacher as kinder than the Buddhas.
That's how you demand the Azulia and Jiggy, Tamabe number 20, and then Azu Chusuvana. Sanyu Jimendigi, Longu number 10, Cho to get number to Chusungore, Tamabe number 10 Chusungore. Then Azulos Gary Panto Chechun so send Tamaki number 20 and Chusung, Azu Panto Chechun, Azu Chushia Rare, Dinyamlengia Ragorova, just a decade in Chavarese. Me. The Longu number 20 Chusung, Sungo, the Dingan to give Nian to Sanjane, near Chushu to go Marwa, and J to go Marwa, and Chogo to get number 20 Chusung already, then I'll to get Chogo to get number 10 by Dingan to cheat Mahua, J. Jago Marwa. Just not sure, this one to get in delay, that time number 20 get a chair. Now, Chogo to go Longu number 20, this is also JJ, this is an Chu to go together. Tamabe number 20, Govaska Madile, or longer number 20, getting Chaware, Chateroda.
We look at the two form bodies of a Buddha, the two different kinds of physical bodies of a Buddha. Then there's the Sambhoga Kaya, or the enjoyment body, and the Namana Kaya, the enjoyment and emanation and enjoyment bodies. Thank you. So the Sambhogakaya, this is a form of Buddha that teaches to beings such as gods, because they are able to perceive a Sambhogakaya. But for ourselves, we cannot perceive such a form of a Buddha, a Sambhogakaya. This is beyond the capacity of ordinary human beings. So for us, if we compare the kindness of the Sambhogakaya and the enjoyment body, and that of the wheel-turning Buddha, founder Buddha, such as Buddha Shakyamuni, then it's clear Buddha Shakyamuni, the wheel-turning Buddha, is far kinder to us, or of greater benefit to us, because whilst we don't have the opportunity to meet him directly, we do still have the opportunity to meet his teachings, to encounter his teachings. So in this way, we can say that the wheel-turning Buddha is a supreme wheel-turning Buddha is of far greater kindness to us and greater benefit to us than even the many Sambhogakayas. But compared to both of them, our Lama, who we can directly meet and who can directly guide us, is even kinder still.
초주가 나바 최소한 디소선의 최시야라야 말에 디나지 상의 점는 되게 최사바다 나저 타바다 탐제 김비 고바 토바 집에 탑 나중에 요모 호월로 주에 탑람 디니기 템바디 나나 고주자는 아주 쉬야라야 말 담아서 다 아주 양호수 나중에 타마비게 나바 계획 신인들이 최소한 되게 다 상의 점는 되게 송화되게 남들이 차사 나한테야 그 송치한 랍는 디고르 디네자 다뱀 마시게 된 전부 슈레샤 지사 상의 되게 깨진 첨보래 디네 초주가 남바야도 롱고 남바 뱀마스 깨진 첨보래 이나 나라 깨진 치셔디 디즘 딜레자 깨진 쳐다 마마래 내모수 도시네 탐메면 남바 데니기 아주 계위신 최된게 아래 판도 치셔다 깨진 치셔 디레샤 섬지 데니기 라마야 지게 가슴에 담으셔 제공세 저와 데니기 윤대다 판도 간데 용구도 전 제바지 심주체 제바지네 또 소소야 데니 인자 판도 제가 깨진 채와다 데니 데리아 안지 데바지야다 안지 지게 깨진 제된 제거데 도시네 삼다셔 그래서 물어라.
What we're discussing here directly relates to what we looked at last week. So if we see the very first sentence in this section, the best way to rely on a spiritual teacher is to practice analytical meditation upon his excellent qualities and his beneficial function in your spiritual life. And that is exactly what we're doing here. We're engaging in analytical meditation together, because we're looking and investigating and we're seeing that we haven't created the causes to meet directly the Buddha in the form of a Sambhogakaya or a wheel-turning Nimanakaya. We haven't created those causes, and therefore we are not in the presence of the enjoyment or emanation bodies, or the wheel-turning body. Yet we have come to meet the Buddha Dharma. We have come to receive explanations on what is keeping us bound within suffering, and what is the path to liberation, the path to freedom. So all of this, all of the knowledge we have of the Buddha Dharma, we have attained due to having met and come under the care and guidance of a spiritual teacher. So in this way, through this analysis, we come to see that for ourselves, our spiritual teacher's kindness is greater than that of even the Sambhogakayas and the wheel-turning Buddhas. So this is how we use analytical meditation in this context.
ane sersan bumcha puwa ane lu kasa ngewi sedang ane susuki sedang zumala sopa ane che pangpa dike puwa siya lama le puwa re sachi ane gulu la marme tong zupa so lu longche tamche tongwar zetu sedan.
Now reading the last paragraph on page 10. To receive spiritual instructions, Buddha made offerings of possessions, service, and practice. For example, in a previous life, he offered 100,000 pieces of gold to a teacher to receive the half verse. If there is birth, there is death. Stopping this process is bliss itself. In another life, as a king, he sacrificed his wife and his only child for a single verse of the Dharma. On another occasion, he made his body into a lamp and burned it as an offering to his spiritual mentor.
Kiawa yuena, chiwa yu, ngoba dini dewa yins, sowa rechane. Kiawa yuena, chiwa yu, ngoba dini dewa yins. Deni ki chue tsikche nyi son, deni ki shubiki, deni ki tsikche nyi chue maungma yun, deni tsikche nyi shuwe lama dela pen masiki, ane chike gedin chimbo tsichi, ane ya goso re. Gedin chimbo tang, tsichi lama ya gedin samdaya da dela ya, ane lama nyeba chibi sersang bunchana so puwa re so urda.
So now this refers to a period when the being that was as yet to become Buddha Shakyamuni was training under the training in the world when the teachings of a previous wheel-turning Buddha's teachings were still present in the world, that of Buddha Kashyapa. So the being that was to become a Buddha, he made huge offerings, as we see, 100,000 pieces of gold, in order to receive just 2 lines of teaching, 2 lines of verse of teaching. And those 2 lines, if there is birth, there is death. Stopping this process is bliss itself. So here, the being that was to become Buddha Shakyamuni, he made these extensive offerings due to understanding of the preciousness of the Buddha Dharma and the kindness of teachers. And therefore he made these extensive offerings even for just such a brief teaching. So this isn't even a complete verse, it's just half a verse.
Leda nyumo kewa yoba, leda nyumo unge kewa yoba inza, ane leda nyumo unge chiwa yungures. Cheza di tenjiki namja siguro. Cheza leda nyumo kewa yoba zan kewa dela tene, ane chiwa de yungures. Chiwa yona yange kewa lemba yunguruwa, tene dunga nyoya da mambu tene yungures. Cheza chiwa yona, ane chini kawa kigiri esana, yana nyawa ida dunro ha mi kesu desu ki ngore desu ki na da nyawa ida dunro da deni ki wan dunga pa me ba nyong wa da ta ji mili ke we ne ta da mili ke we ne dunga pa me ba nyong wa cha go ji da le da nyomo wang ge chi ne chi we na le da nyomo ke wa le da nyomo wa ke wa len go re ke wa deni ne ba na dunga nyong wa da di re so da ke wa yu na chi wa yu su de ji da ne ya ji ki bin na zo le na nyomo ki ma she ba na ji ki yu ba na Gili 좀 마조라 용거래. 끼와 기네 기네 끼에는 조로야 돼 내려와다. 그래서 내가 차야디 당보지 예고래. 예발에 뛰네 내가 차고라. 그래서 뛰는 남자 송고래. 예발에 뛰네. 지예나 내가 차고마도 기네 내가 차세요 뭐 요말로. 그래서 지하직변의 신다 내도다 지신가래나 지야 끼어도 안 가서 감지 내가 차려서 자기로 와. 미네 지끼에는 아니 거기 가서 들고 내가 저 시리에서 차여와 다음번에 기니 깨면은 디 내가 차래 디 시월에 내가 차래 라요 말와다 데려와 제가 깨와 연애 치워 유라도 Deniki Kiawa Yena, and also me, Kiawa Yena, Mishia Ungures, Chisam, Miki, Leda Nyumum Ungi Kiawa Shubaina, then the Leda Nyumum Ungi Shirugures, Chiwa Ungures, just the Leda Nyumum Chiwa Yubaina, and the Gariosan, then do one Yoyata, Ganga Tada, Munungwed, Mapuligores, or Kiawa Yuna, Chiwa, you said, don't that deal about sick down body.
So the meaning of these two lines that Buddha Shakyamuni made this, or the being that was to become Buddha Shakyamuni made these extensive offerings to receive, was for those who've been coming to the dependent arising teachings will recognize the meaning behind here. If in dependence on karma that has been created by afflictions, one takes rebirth, then in dependence on that, one will also take one will also die due to contaminated karma that has been created in dependence on afflicted minds. So the meaning in brief is that whatever is born will die, whatever arises will cease. And this is something that we can observe in the natural world, with fauna and flora. We see that this is the case. And the meaning here, though, in particular, is if birth is taken due to karma and afflictions, death will come about due to karma and afflictions. So this is, in brief, the meaning of the first line. Understanding it more extensively, when birth is taken due to contaminated karma that has been accumulated due to the afflicted minds, then one will be born as either in hell, or as a spirit, or as an animal, a human, or as a god. And if one is born in one of the suffering lower realms of the animals, the spirits, and the hell beings, the suffering is immense. But even if one is born in the so-called happier migrations of a god or human, one's existence is nevertheless pervaded by suffering. And this all comes about in dependence on having taken uncontrolled rebirth due to contaminated karma and afflictions, and then on dependence on this uncontrolled rebirth, uncontrolled death will also follow.
Gyudi leda nyomoba yishiwa di kunju deba leda nyomoba de leda nyomoba nane dazin marikpa seyorwa jesa kunju deba shiwa gyudi shigorwa gyawa jesa denegi da leda nyomoba le tine gyawa inzang ane gazam je ya cha ma gengo cha ma ga ben dipala de duwa da kalera ma nyongwa de nyong che de jin chowa da ma nyong dine ma gili chine 지금 차는 타말에 아니 때미디 시월에서는 매바 차르고 제가 니 데니기 빨아들에 동아 용거에 막 차야지 그래서 군주 동아대 봐 차로 동아대 봐 동아 초와 동아 다 지금 메드 강아 막 동아대 봐 차. 제가 제와 연나스디 계획이 규례다 녀몽 봐 세디 군주대 봐. 군주 대바 내가 녀모발에 때네 하나 가지고 깨와자 안두신 깨야 셔셔치 대동아 데리야 강아만 꾸냐나 담아야 치료에 매바차 치료거디 딘 강아녀야디 내가 차사 동아 대바 차요. 그래서 동아 대바도 군주 대바 니 송거다 그 직직나리야.
내가 간도 댐pen 이기 걸어서
대신 시로가 나도 동아 대바도 군주 대바 이 송거다.
And if we look at this first line a little further, if there is birth, there is death. This is a presentation on dependent arising. It's also a presentation on the Four Noble Truths. Because, as it says here, that when birth is taken in dependence on contaminated karma and afflictions, this is highlighting the truth of origin. That the origin of our uncontrolled rebirth in samsara, the origin of what is keeping us bound in uncontrolled rebirth in samsara, is the contaminated karma that has been accumulated by our afflicted minds. And these have as their very root the ignorance of self-grasping. So here in this line we immediately see the truth of origin. having taken rebirth in samsara due to contaminated karma and afflictions, birth itself is suffering. Immediately one enters into the suffering of aging, later into sickness, and then death. So this whole process of taking uncontrolled rebirth leads to continuous suffering, such as birth, aging, sickness, and death. And this then it points to the second of the Four Noble Truths, that of the truth of suffering.
Dini kedina deware dunga leda nyumo mo kewa mena din dunga nya ayo mare chisa di leda nyumo ongi kewi kewa di pa goba di pangba ina pangba se goba sin di pangba se ora di pangba ina dini deware sin tabi goba tobare so dingi dewa tobore chede
dini di Temposi nangla sumpara.
Niele ne di Geshe jame chida goba se kar goba se leda nyumo ungi kewa di pa pangba meba soba ina pangba ina ane dini tingi kewa re chisa la ya leda nyumo ungi kewa yo mare kewa mena dunga nyungo yo mare sisa chisa di leda nyumo ungi kewa di pa goba ina dini tingi kewa tupo re saji.
Then looking at the second line of this half verse, stopping this process is bliss itself. So stopping this process, ceasing this process, abandoning this process, this is referring first of all to what is the process? It's this process of continuously, life after life, taking uncontrolled rebirth, rebirth that we have no control over in cyclic existence, due to the contaminated karma we've accumulated through our own afflicted minds. When this process is brought to an end, when we act so that it ceases, that it stops, then there's there being no more uncontrolled rebirth means there's no more uncontrolled death. There is no more suffering. And this is liberation. So through stopping uncontrolled rebirth, one stops suffering and one stops uncontrolled rebirth, uncontrolled death. So this is liberation.
Goba seri da leda nyumo ongi kewa sawa kuni kewa ma namya da la ya leda nyumo kewa meba di kewa di pa ka pomba sigurwa jesa di pangwa la leda nyumo ki yu nyumo ba ro nyumo ba sabona cheba dasi sabona cheba pangba di da di goktin reso goktin tarba sa di reso jesa leda nyumo ba da di ki yu sabona cheba pangbi pangba di da goktin di tarpares di tobane tingi dewares lo goktendi ngosu tingore tembashinane goktendi ngosu te da dewana gon jiza lena nyumo ba bangba ganis bangwa lam gomje dame ba to be shero ko lamden gomje bangures jiza di bang meba so gore bangures le lamden te gore jiza dieza signiba de la dewa panel dewa insidu lam nyamnen jebale tene lamden gomne ane kowe dunga kowa kiye leda nyomo sabona cheba pangba ina deni kewa lena nyomo kewa de kune kewa meba pangba res di gote res chisa deni ki lamle deni pangore sede deni ki dele an lam deni gote ni tingore.
So cessation, or we have it here stopping, this refers to what are we stopping, what are we ceasing? This is this uncontrolled rebirth that comes about due to contaminated karma accumulated by the afflictions. What is the cause of this uncontrolled rebirth? It's the ignorance of self-grasping, because it's from this ignorance of self-grasping that come all the afflicted minds that lead to the accumulation of contaminated karma. So this is what needs to be abandoned, and when it is, liberation is attained. Liberation from uncontrolled rebirth. If one's liberated from uncontrolled rebirth in samsara, one is liberated from suffering. Because if there's no further uncontrolled rebirth in samsara, there is no more suffering. So the meaning of liberation then, we can understand it that it is the cessation of suffering. In particular, the root cause of suffering, the ignorance of self-grasping. We can also express it as the liberation from uncontrolled rebirth in samsara. And the result of this liberation is the attainment of a lasting, stable happiness. And this is the truth of cessation. Amongst the Four Noble Truths, this is the third, the truth of cessation, cessation of suffering, cessation on the causes of suffering. How does one achieve this? It's the cultivation of the path within oneself, the mental paths that lead to liberation. And these are the paths of bliss that we see referred to here. Stopping this process is bliss itself. And the stopping of this process, this refers to the truth of the path which leads to cessation, leads to liberation. And this is bliss. And then this is the fourth of the Noble Truths, the truth of path.
Bendigo Sonam Lama de Lama de Massa getting Chimbore, getting Danger, Devata, getting then Ya Lama never checked on Dalai, says sound, and Chipumjala so poor research.
Kuna denidi dan kongi tawa lama dan tawa yome de komaso.
Tawa lama kishin that the lama church in Shurua, Lama Shurua, the nigger church choosing Sunkan Lama Delia, Bear Masada getting Chipotage, getting the Deva, getting change, and Delia never Lama never Tella, and it says Bumtala so poor, yes, I did it. That they get into the Dala, Dina Timbashi needs Lam Rim Text go to water. She's not the name of Koal, that Havada, Tamji Kibitoy, Lam Chasa, Dina, the singing on a ding, but Dinigi, she's not getting Chimbushu, Tingo, or what on him.
So the Bodhisattva who was to go on and become Buddha Shakyamuni, understanding the tremendous importance of the Buddha Dharma, he made these extensive offerings in order to receive just these 2 lines. But due to his development, his own spiritual development, whilst only 2 lines were heard, far greater meaning arose within himself. And this then too goes to show the tremendous kindness of a teacher, and also the Bodhisattva that was to become the Buddha, his appreciation of a teacher, that appreciating the kindness and importance of the teacher and teachings, he made such an extensive offering to receive what on a superficial level is a very brief teaching, although it would have carried far greater meaning for himself.
Gebiche and Lumbe Gebache and Denigia Chiga Lametsele Chushu, Denigi Chushu, Chenanga Lama Delian, Chisosugi, Umbugu says, Sosubuta, and also Zuma, Sosugi, Sada Chasaya, Lama Delia, Pure, Sosugi, you know the Pure Maze, Sosugi Namginache, Sosugi Zawashu again, Sosugi Buddha, and Chiga Sadalia, and Ya Lamalia, Pure Esudua.
Look at the next illustration. In another life, when Buddha Shakyamuni, the being that was to become Buddha Shakyamuni, when he was a king, he offered his wife and his only child for a single verse of the Dharma. So this is illustrating that in terms of material offerings, it's not just about offering wealth, but it's, the meaning is offering things of whatever one values.
Gulila Mame, Dong Suba, so Lu Longe, Tamje, Dong Zedu, said that is Sosugi, Longe, Lamala Chivopuya, Shelia, Jimbataya, Sobada, the Nebato, Bajadani, Jigga, Chemipuya, Sobada, the Negazam Gilian, Sosugi, Jigge, Louis Lene, and the Nigi 지게 디무라 되는 마음에 지바지 되는 전부야라서 봐. 되는 집 부여전에 빼 지게 쳐봐. 되는 게 같이 뭐 부여전 아니 냠렌도스 나와래서 그러와.
And then in the next line we see another illustration. On another occasion he made his body into a lamp and burnt it as an offering to his spiritual mentor. Lapi.
That's right. Dine inza disushasan 가르치네 제가래서네 심지어 탐지기 된다래야 상여고화 토비 치도 냠렌도 나와래 진짜 두스네 남의 상여 젬는디기 냠렌 나야디 가리 된다 나와래 심지어 탐지 동안에 자고도 심지어 된 개심부 제고도 심지어 동안에 자야 동 자고도 선비게 잠바다 제와 니 왕기라 동안에 자야라 소수기 명모바디게 마마방 소수기 군세 군 차상 매와서 연된 차상지 마도 원다 윤대 전례야 판바 개침부 지투사 말에 대인자 안상기 세대 토고도 세대 소수기 군 차상 매와서 연된 차상 토고도 삼지 무슨 디토베게 된다래는 손음 사야다 최보부야 라소바당 지라마니바차다 라메전의 최슈 냠nen제라서 두진 제바 차상 안 심지어 탐지게 된다 상교고바 토베치도 제바레스.
If we think into ourselves, why were such offerings like these made? We remind ourselves that the great being that was to later develop into Buddha or attain enlightenment and become Buddha Shakyamuni, he was motivated by powerful minds of love and compassion. And these minds of love and compassion had as their objective the attainment of enlightenment for the sake of all sentient beings. And to do this, motivated by love and compassion, the Bodhisattva knew all faults that he had, and his continuum had to be abandoned, and all good qualities had to be perfected. And in order to do this, huge amounts of virtue were required, as well as training and practice. So it's with this motivation of love and compassion, wanting to attain enlightenment for the sake of suffering beings, that the being that was to become Buddha Shakyamuni made offerings such as these.
다디 라마 남라 취 체메바 년 유베 게딘 체메바 체메앙 사스도하다 지사 아우주에 남미기 뜸바상에 좀네 진주레 지사 상에 좀네 디기도 우체네 소수기 취취 라마텔레베 마세기 게딘 다 대바다 디우수체네 아니 주선음 개침무슈 사샤스 디근네 데니기 냠는 나샤 지사 디장 아우주에네 다등하고 라마디를 최명고 쉬어 지상하고 라마기 최시 라마디 소슬리아 그든 체메바 쉬우래 지상 되니서 상이 좀는 디게 나와나 아신지 니게 되는 냠는 제국이 제기 인서로다 제국으로서.
Concluding this paragraph on the 11th page, since you are a follower of Buddha, you should do likewise. If you have heard many teachings from your spiritual teacher, is his kindness not immeasurable? So here we reflect that through the guidance and training that we've received already from our teachers, we have accumulated so much merit, so many causes of happiness. And that should bring great joy to our lives, great joy to our mind, and give us courage to continue to live our lives in a good way, following the example of the being that was to become Buddha Shakyamuni.
지나다 심지어 상유 점년 대기 상유고방 토비 추도년 안도스 냠는제 상유고방 토바래 아주에네 다 상유 점년인 진주래 다 라마 코롱게 간에 상유 점년의 코롱게 냠는 간에 나와나지 아주 코롱게 냠는 나한 하지 냠는 제고래 되네자 때문에 상유 점년 되기 초랑 직취 휴세 되니게 특히 제가지 휴세지 휴세 라마지를 빼내 되니기 오늘 단에 지 대바체야데 녀버체야다 되니 초보부된 제바는 마음에다 휴세 라마지 제고를 해야지 근데 네 제고도 선배가지네 두스네 상에 주면디기 제바til에 냠는 제라데 파야가지 심주체 내가 되나 라미디나지 내가 디나지 지긴세도 소소 심슈게야다 안두스 냠는 제고를 해야지 지금 deni sungdo ada.
If we combine what we just looked at here and then a little earlier, we can remind ourselves that it's through the enlightened activities of the Buddha that we have come to meet our teacher. And therefore, we are under the care of the Buddha through being under the care of our teachers. And we should take as our role model, our example, our spiritual teacher, as well as Buddha Shakyamuni. And having them as our role models, being their students, we should emulate them, we should act just like they did, see how they have and are acting as examples for us to follow. And as we've seen here tonight, the tremendous importance of the Buddha Dharma and how the being that was to become Buddha Shakyamuni, the value that he placed onto the Buddha Dharma. And his desire, his motivation was one of love and compassion, a wish to be of benefit to others, of greatest benefit to others. And for these reasons, he made great endeavor to please his teacher through receiving teachings and cultivating those teachings within his own continuum.
Sanje sede janda chigla yoba che dinga zu tu ya zhuo xian tu dilai yoba ru samle ko da sanje ko wang to gu le si ru wa da zhe ce sanje wo to le si sanje ko ba si janda chigla yoba che dinga zu pa zhuo che dilai yoba ru samle ma zu samle de ni ji ko ru wa sam sanje sede ya si yoba che dinga zu gi du xian ya ji nyam ne di chu le yoba ru se gu ne de ne ya yin ma wa da zhe da don da la ga so Sanje ko hong to gu ye se de ngan zo sanje gu le la go sanje gu le de na ka lo se sang se de ha ju nyom ma de me ga se gu le se wo da na ju yu le ye de ke de sha kong zhuo xie dang ma jia ma ri ba di ma sang se di me ba se gu le se da ye se de na zo le du sam da ne ma xin ba ma wo shu duo de ne ali de na ju ge想到你说马上把烧我了，开一个那么开这个马上把，上年开的去个没，那年开始老姐嘛开的我最辛苦嘛，马上把，等你马上把车上那个门包给马上把马桶都掐掉了，就是等你马上把车上也是的，车上新我所有我的时候了的，就是上岁的我好就给了年末读书车上没法学。啊，这个乐意都你不得怕，对些车上新我所有我的时候了，就是你车上面呢，上些车上的车上，就是上街了的，但等到了看过是啊，这个说是语句，鸟毛都说鸟毛不是个毛要的车上没法所有我的是，但新过那个原来的车上，怕原来的出家什么所有我的时候了，家把结果的是，就是你结果的时候上街噻，等下说你结果的时候了。
In the world, usually we think if there's something that we want to achieve, we have to do various things so that we can get what we hope to achieve. And when we hear then that in Buddhism, or in the Buddha Dharma, we need to practice, we need to train our minds, we must be very clear that the goal of training our minds, the goal of practicing, is not so that we can get something that someone else has or that someone else has achieved. It's not that we can go somewhere and collect something or go to someone and receive something. This is not possible. What we need to achieve is enlightenment. The word for a Buddha in Tibetan is Sangye. The word to become a Buddha is also Sangye. So we take these two syllables, and this explains what it means to be a Buddha as well as becoming a Buddha. So the first particle, the first syllable, sang. So this then, the sang means to have purified all faults, all stains completely. So in other words, the minds such as anger, attachment, ignorance, pride, jealousy, all of these minds completely purified with their seeds and their stains, so that there's not a trace remaining. So this is the quality that a Buddha, a Sangye has. It's the process one goes through to arise as a Buddha. And then the second syllable, that of Gye. So this then refers to everything becoming known. So if we think of the situation that we are now, we are like beings dwelling in darkness. But when one attains enlightenment, then it's like arising in the light of our own good qualities, our own inner wisdom. And so the second syllable, that of Gye, this refers to perfecting all good qualities. So in other words, to attain enlightenment, to Sangye, one needs to purify all faults and perfect all good qualities. And when one is a Buddha, Sangye, that is the state one is. One is a being completely purified of all faults and having perfected all good qualities.
Digi Lobsang Dorje Labchi Chigora Sinisa Sangi Jumlin Digi Yama Yamndu Susnare Chisang Auzina Sangi Kovato Yaman Chegore Sidu Chisang Auzulia Lamalia Chik Diabachi Ishichi Jagore Sonadu Donda Harsungorasine Auzulia Mauzu Samanala Kin Tag Samudi Shukche Lamsang Yoncho Dum Yo Devure Destile Ben Michigi Auzulia Lomangu Chilia Auzulia Ben Pamala Javana Pamagi Lomangu Chilia Dao Ku Subunana Nya Dinachi Dini Kalajap Dini Pama Jason Chambu Bachiklo Chushin Jambu Chesu Ya Chambu Chadelo Tajo Juru Nishus Chadu that's so Lam Dadibado Lo as a lot John Nishushi Pamakin Chimbu Javana and the image Pamagi Delia Tignakota Dujashi Tiglavana Lamsa Koralachene Pamalia Kadaji Pamanium Dugimesa Kada Pamalia and a chick Korushu Chimbalan Pamaswegi Yayorua. Just not your Mambo getting Chimbachevadi getting to Chasa Martin Bache that a chick Duja 60 lava the Pikushu Tongene Gushu Tongore. The Garcia Marazul Gun Diagun is some tied Gomshi Chimushu, Denisa, Union had the Denigi, Chick Diagi Rikti, Gomshi Chuma Chad, just a Denisa, Gun said Toncho, just a Denisa, Dinashi, Mazul Lamalia, Chicken, the Chicken, Yundan, the Devata, Lama getting Jango said, Denigi Lamalia, Lama getting Jan, Lama Devatu, Changdu, Gun Diagi. Ma shu chung chung gore just na shu chung de na ju gye yi mi gye yi ta wa na ka ta ya la so ba da ani ji ge ne bi ge la ga ji kong de sa ya ani gyön jue je ya yo mo bu ma bu le wo wa de ni sa la ma ya de ba chang na mi ge din chen du chen ba yin ni jang ba yin na de ni ge la ma le gyön de gyön yi ti ga gore gyön yi ta na ka ta ya la so ba da kong de sa ya la so ba de ni ji gyön jue je Nyomo Rik Manguchi Gagorva, Deninza, Yunzen Denatinian, Golamigi, getting to Payane out of Jihada, and Delia Debache Hoyata, to Shankori said, himself in the Jeda.
To summarize what we've been looking at tonight, as we saw in one of these last sentences we looked at, we are followers of the Buddha. So therefore we should train like him. He taught us the complete and unmistaken path to enlightenment, and he taught it based on his own experience. So therefore we should follow his example, emulate his example, train just like him to achieve that same result. And here we've seen illustrations tonight about how he acted with great trust and faith in his teacher. And this is something then we need to reflect on with a mind of analysis, coming to gain ever greater conviction in the qualities of our teachers. Because the situation that we find ourselves in right now is quite far from that. Our natural way of relating to people is that their faults appear as very large to us. And we very easily and spontaneously, without effort, we see the faults in others to us, and they appear as exaggerated. Perhaps to understand this, we can take an illustration of the situation in some families. So parents show a tremendous amount of kindness to their children. If it wasn't for the kindness of parents, then even if the baby were born, that infant is completely helpless and is dependent for years on their parents, completely dependent. And this process in varying ways continues for about 2 decades. And if after, so let's say the now young person is about 20 years old, they have a fallout with their parents, and all the good that has been done for them, all the kindness and care, and then their needs of the child being placed before those of the parents again and again, these get forgotten. And now what dominates is what was said, what was done. And maybe the child will want nothing more to do with their parents. So this does happen in the world, and in varying degrees it is quite common. And so this is due to our habitual way of thinking. This due to our own negative imprints. We tend to see negative aspects in a far stronger way, in a way that is not in a disproportionate way. We see negative aspects in a disproportionate way. And this is the same with our teacher. Everything our teacher does for us is motivated by love and compassion for us. The motivation of love and compassion extends to all sentient beings, of which we are an illustration of a suffering sentient being. With this motivation, all they do for us is for us to achieve our potential. But if our teacher happens to show a facial expression or a particular tone of voice we find unpleasant, then immediately criticism arises within us. And if we hear a presentation that we're not entirely comfortable with, again criticism arises within us. So this comes about due to a strong habitual way of thinking, and it needs to be overcome through analytical meditation, as has been described tonight and the previous week, as well as earlier when you looked at the qualities of the teacher. The second way, the second technique for transforming this way of thinking is to remind ourselves of not just of the qualities of the teacher, but the value of this relationship. Remind ourselves that it's only through relying on our teachers that they can bring to life within ourselves the minds of the Buddha Dharma. It's only through relying on our teacher that we can give rise to the causes that will lead to a complete pacification of all suffering, that can lead to a complete state of lasting happiness, and moreover can lead us to becoming bodhisattvas and being of greatest benefit to other suffering beings. So if we make our mind much more broad and expansive in this way, coming to generate strong respect for the teacher, for his good qualities, as well as appreciating the beneficial effects he brings into our life. In this way we can transform how we relate to our teacher, and thereby his teachings will have a transformative effect on ourselves. So it's my hope in your daily meditation, now you can incorporate the reflections that we've described briefly tonight and last week, as well as some weeks ago when we looked at the qualities of the teacher. And if you do so, the way of thinking will transform.
Makes it too early now.